Welcome back to HD Racing and to the second week of my WRC career. If you've seen last week's video, then you already know that we did have quite a good start in week 1 and that I really enjoy the career mode here in EA WRC. And that's because there is a lot of choice. We're not just getting thrown into a championship for the WRC, we can do quite a bunch of things leading up to that. And once again, here in week 2, we have a couple of different events to choose from. And if you know me, I'm a sensible guy. I would not go for something crazy, which would be kind of difficult for someone that's still kind of new to this game and rally driving in general. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. Of course, I'm gonna do something stupid. And if you've seen the thumbnail of this video, I think you have a pretty good idea what's gonna come, because we're choosing Rally Scandia. And I did choose the Peugeot 205 GTI, which is in the H2 front-wheel drive class. So not a very fast car, but a kind of safe and easy to drive one. But I think we will need that because, as you can see, Rally Scandia is all snow and ice. And that is a surface that is probably the most difficult to drive. And the stages you're about to see, they really have a lot of difficult sections, and even with a car that's not as fast like this one, it's still quite a challenge, at least for me. So yeah, this is my first time driving snow in this game. So I was like, okay, let's take this easy. This already starts out with one ride here down the hill, and I take it kind of safe, and in the beginning here, like, okay, I'm not gonna take too many risks and just feel out how the car feels here on this snowy, icy surface. I mean, yes, it's snow, but it's very compacted and it's quite slippery. Also the stages, at least in some sections, are really narrow with high snowbanks, as you can see here, and then sometimes even just rocks, and that could be my downfall here, because even though the car isn't as fast, it still can pick up quite a bit of speed, and if you don't manage that properly and either or don't judge properly what's coming up next, or just think you can take it faster than you actually can, you will have a really bad time. And talking a little bit more about this event, since I, in the beginning of the career mode, did choose the long format for all the events, that means that this is actually quite a long one. We have 9 stages in this. And I was kind of debating doing a 2-part video for this one to not make it as long, but I think that would have been like 2 videos in this kind of scenario a little bit too much, so I decided to cut this down a bit. This is once again a post commentary because I, once again, as I said in the last video, am not ready to both do driving and commentary at the same time. And even just driving, as you'll be able to see here, is sometimes a little difficult if you're not familiar with the surface of snow. And you can see that just a little bit of a wheel hook on the left side meant I did roll over completely and the car was quite busted. And I decided in the end here, okay, let's go for the restart that I have, not knowing that this restart is for the whole event, so for all the 9 stages that we're driving. And well, after restarting here, I didn't know that yet, but I was like, okay, I did restart on this first stage, not doing too well. You can see on the left side, a lot of the sectors are red, which means I'm slower than the class leader, which isn't terrible, but I mean, since I'm just getting started, I think it's totally to be expected. And yeah, this it's quite a long stage here, so I did cut most of it out, and we're just seeing the ladder part, yeah, the last sector basically. And you'll be able to see that I'm still struggling on this surface. I mean, I'm doing okay, I would say, but I wouldn't say I'm doing great. And you can see from the moving parts in the front of the windscreen, I also had some smaller incidents in this attempt of stage 1. Speaking of incidents, by the way, you'll be able to see just a little bit of a snowbank there means you go flying and go into the rocks. It's so difficult, you need to pay so much attention. And that's also a shame, because if you take a look at the scenery here, this is a really beautiful environment. From what I've heard, this is the only environment in EA WRC which is not based on a real-life rally. It's based on a real-life location, but I don't think this actual rally is being or has been driven in real life so far. So it's just kind of fictional. But I think it's still pretty good. And don't get me wrong, there are rallies like this, just not here. This is based in Norway, I believe. So yeah. First stage here, in the end, 11 seconds behind the leader, which isn't bad for how I was driving, I would say. There were no major incidents, I was just kind of slow. So, yeah, in the end, I was okay with how this went. And, well, this start of the second stage here, we will kind of do similarly. This in the beginning I was kind of doing okay. Again, wasn't fast, but I was still getting to grips with the car and the surface and the stage. And by the way, this stage I think is just the stage that we did drive previously, just backwards. That's something that you will see a lot of the time here. A lot of the stages can be driven in both directions, and also sometimes you will just have a stage that's a little bit shorter that's then also repeated again in a longer stage, at least in parts of that. And you can see here we did cut ahead to basically almost the end of this stage, and it's pretty long. And I was doing okay, but these long stages, they require so much concentration, and if you don't have that in just a split second, you go flying. You can see here with all these little embankments on the side, and like even just rocks and trees and all kinds of different things, it's difficult. And then sometimes also the car doesn't behave the way you want and understeers more than you would predict, and yeah, getting over this snowbank here was also super difficult. I hit that pole, and that apparently gave me also a corner cut 5-second penalty. It wasn't going great. And yeah, once again, also wasn't super fast, so still there was a lot of learning to be done here. But don't get me wrong, this still, even at this stage, was a lot of fun, because I was still learning and trying to improve here, and I was kind of feeling that I was getting a little bit better from stage to stage. And since we do have a lot of stages still coming, you'll see that I will improve by the end of this. And this is why I really like this longer event setup. You actually have some time to get to grips with, well, the environment. But still, as you can see, small little mistakes can really cost you. And this time that meant I was actually stuck on my roof and had to reset. That's another penalty once again. And in the end, 12 minutes on the stage. It doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're driving with a lot of concentration here, it really takes a lot out of you. And this time actually really far behind the leader, 42 seconds. And that means in the running order we have dropped quite a bit. And that means if I want to have any chance of going anywhere near the top in this whole event, which I was, by the way, checking here, you can always see what stages are coming up, and there are some shorter ones coming, but also some more long ones. This is still gonna be quite a challenge. Well, I will have to do better than I did in these first two stages. We are into our first service stage, or service area, where we can repair. It was kind of difficult to decide what I wanted to repair here, because bodywork was already quite damaged, so I did replace that and just quick fixed everything else that was broken. It doesn't mean that it's 100% now, but at least the car looks decent again, as you can see. And you can see also the lights in the front. And by the way, I'm changing tires here. I remembered, at least this time. I don't think I did every time, but yeah, it's also very important. And yeah, well, the lights, we are gonna need those, because the next stage is at night. And that makes these already difficult to see stages, to see where you're going, even more difficult. So yeah, these next two stages I think are both at night, and they will be quite a challenge. Yeah, but I'm just gonna quickly be quiet for a moment so you can also once again listen to the co-driver and the car and just enjoy that for a couple of seconds.
Tightens. To slight left, slowing, 60. Turn square left, and 4 right short, 40. Slight left of a jump, 100. 6 right short, and left of a crest, into slight right, 70.
Yeah, I think you can see it's going at least a little bit better by now. Doesn't mean that I have fixed all the issues that I have with this. It's really difficult. As I said, I think this is one of the most difficult rallies in the game. I'm not quite sure why this is an option in the beginning of the career mode, and also another reason I did choose it is because it's recommended, because it gives you a bonus for the sponsor or the benefactor, I think it's called. Yeah, not quite sure why it is like this. I mean, the first rally we did was on asphalt. That was kind of tame and quite easy to do for me, even though I still made mistakes, but still it was okay. This one is definitely something else. And in the end here on the third stage, I did a little bit better. You can see only 1.5 seconds behind the leader. So I was improving, but still not where I wanted to be, and still made some mistakes. The next stage, as I said, once again at night, and yeah, visibility is definitely a bit problematic. I mean, it also in the day just all looks the same, with just white everywhere, and sometimes it's really difficult to see where the actual path is. But yeah, I'm not quite sure if it's really that much worse at night, but it's definitely also straining on your eyes a little bit, like this whole ordeal with just driving in the snow. But yeah, I still enjoyed it very much so, and I did learn quite a lot during this event. And if you've seen the thumbnail, you know that there is some more issues and shenanigans coming up, but we'll get to that in due time. So this fourth stage was once again kind of okay, as I almost drive over the marshals there. And you can see here 10-second gap to the second guy. I was not expecting that, didn't feel that amazing, though it overall all felt good. There wasn't any major mistake, and also I did feel a little bit more confident to just push the car a little bit more. And well, we're now into our second service, and I once again was not able to fix everything, and I think I made a mistake here in deciding to do work on the bodywork and replace all that. I think that could have been better spent repairing some more of the internal parts, because the outside wasn't that damaged. Yeah, here we are into our fifth stage, and somewhere towards the middle I was doing okay until there, but yeah, just going onto the snowbank a little bit too much and rolled the car, and that meant that once again the bodywork and also some other parts were quite damaged as well. And the fifth stage, otherwise kind of uneventful, with 3.5 seconds or something behind the leader. We are still quite far behind the leader overall. So going into the sixth stage, I knew I kind of had to pick up the pace. This was one of the shorter ones, but also a kind of technical one. There already were some kind of slow and technical sections before this. We did cut in here in the middle of this stage, but it also opened up a little bit more and was kind of fast-paced here at the end, as you were able to see. In here we still have some slower and tighter sections with the guardrail on the outside. Well, at least it's there, but then there's rocks on the other side, so yeah, that makes it really difficult if you're not really on the right track and know where the corner is going and anticipate that enough, because that's a lot that very, very necessary in rally, well, then it just becomes very, very difficult to keep the car in one piece. So far on this stage 6, I was once again doing okay. You can see once again on the left side, first sector wasn't that great, second sector on the other end was green, so I was doing better than the class leader. And right now you can also see on the left, I'm kind of neck and neck with the class leader. I think I'm even a little bit ahead right now. But yeah, this section was once again a lot faster, and then there's some tighter sections coming up here with some, well, kind of unexpectedly sharp turns, and it's also once again kind of narrow. And yeah, as you saw previously, going onto those snowbanks is very, very dangerous. You can easily flip the car. So I was really trying to avoid that. And we are almost at the end of the stage now, of stage 6 out of 9. So we have moved up, or moved through this championship, through this event, fair amount by now, but it's still quite a long way to go, and there are some really long stages coming up, and that not only means that we will have to drive good for a very long time, but it also means that any mistake that we make there will compound on itself if we damage the car. And yeah, that is something that will be definitely a concern in the coming stages. So, but this one, once again, felt actually kind of good with 6 minutes 45. And looking at the standings, once again, we are 9 seconds behind P2 in this one. So we are catching up a little bit to the leaders of the overall event. And, well, in this next service area, I once again decided to work on bodywork and replace that completely. Once again, I think since the gearbox also has medium damage, should maybe have put that into the time into that, but well, I did that anyway, like this. And we are into stage 7. And stage 7 is one of the longest ones of this rally. And you'll be able to see that we are still kind of at the beginning here, and the problem is that I once again had a quite big mistake here and rolled the car over, and that already probably did quite a lot of damage. But that wasn't everything, because for some reason I, well, once again, not even that far ahead, did crash the snowbank a little, and the car just rolled over completely. And to add insult to injury, I was like, okay, car's probably oh, I can't see anything, what is happening? And I was so thankful that the bonnet was gone, because if that had stayed flapping in front of my windscreen all the time, I think I couldn't have driven this rally to the end, or this stage to the end, because as you can see, it's still quite long on the left side. I didn't even know while driving how funny this looked from the outside. So gonna show you a little bit here in the replay. This was the second roll where I damaged the car even more. And if you take a look at this now, I mean, we're gonna see the front flapping here and flying off. But not only that, but also because the car is super damaged, you can see the trunk is also not fully closed anymore and is flapping behind me. Like, looking at this back from the replay perspective was super funny to me. I don't know, driving it I didn't really notice that, obviously, but looking at this now, yeah, this stage was something, and I was so happy that I even managed to get the car to the end. And with 11 minutes, this was actually kind of nice, and I'm gonna have you take a listen here.
Very nicely driven through that stage. It's a great result for the crew, who as a result have moved up in the event standings.
Yeah, very nicely driven, I would agree. Nothing wrong here. And you can see overall we actually moved up, because even though I didn't do super great, because I damaged the car a lot and I had some big incidents, overall the time was still quite good, so we did move up. And stage 8, which we still had to drive with the same damage that we had from the previous stage, and you can see on the right also the radiator probably is damaged quite a bit, so we are having some heat problems as well. The 8th stage, as you can see on the left side, a lot of green. It also went kind of well, even though the car was not in a great state because we didn't have service. But I feel like maybe it was due to improved performance because, I mean, open engine section, I mean, there's more air flowing through and stuff. And I think I also, yeah, you can see here on the left side, I gave my co-driver also a little bit more air to breathe by removing the door. I mean, we also lost a lot of weight by removing all these parts, so I think it's probably was a good idea to do that. Just improve performance overall of our little Peugeot here. Well, not really probably, but I still like to think so. And you can see 22 seconds, 22 and a half seconds behind or in front of P2. That was really unexpected, but as I said, stage 8 really felt good. Even though the car was kind of damaged, it felt still okay to drive. And also I, at this point, had gotten to grips with just driving here in Rally Scandia a lot more. So at this point I was like, okay, there's only one stage left, 13.8 kilometers. We will have it in the afternoon because that was something I was really interested in, because the engineer already told me we have to fix the lights or we won't see anything in the coming night stages. It was like night stages. So in the end I decided to rely on the events tab and not fix the lights, and hopefully it's actually still daylight, so because we won't have any lights. And as you can see, we also didn't have time to repair any of the bodywork. So we are driving without our front, is it called bonnet? I'm still unsure, I should probably look that up. And also we're driving without our door on the left. So yeah, going into our last rally, I mean, the inside of the car, so the parts that hopefully make us go in the right direction and semi-fast, are fixed mostly, but as you can see here, co-driver still is getting a lot of air, and yeah, is definitely not sweating as much as he normally would with my driving, because he's getting some cool air from the outside here. Yeah, we're going into our last stage of the event, and I'm gonna show you this one in full, even though it's also a little bit of a longer one. I kind of wanted to put at least one stage in here that you can watch in full. And I think for this first section, I'm just gonna let you watch and not do any commentaries, so you can actually enjoy the driving, hopefully. And well, I'll be back in a little bit.
And 4 right, 40 left of the crest, into 2 left short, 30. Slight right, into 3 left, half long, don't cut, 50. Square right short. Late 4 right, tightens, into crest. Sudden hairpin left, 30. Hairpin right. 40. 1 right, 30.
So yeah, these tight hairpin and, well, just this overall tight and kind of twisty sections up the hill were super difficult to drive with this car. Say, because, well, just getting the power down and trying to get this car uphill. Luckily it's front wheel drive, so you can actually put the power down without sliding out, but still it was kind of challenging to at least go through this section kind of fast. But yeah, I think the first sector here went pretty good, and at least no incidents. Other than just some really minor wall touches, overall going kind of well. So let's see what we can do for sector number 2.
5 left short, into slight right, and 4 right, tightens of the crest, 30, late 3 left, into slight right, slight left, 60. 2 right short, and 1 right short, and 4 left. And crest to 1 left, and slide left, 90. 6 right to the crest, and slide right, don't cut, to 4 left, 30. Caution, 3 right into 4 left, opens, very long tightens.
Yeah, once again, these small little mistakes that you make of not being on the right line can cost you. That was lucky that there was not any more contact with those rocks, or even a spin once again, or roll. Definitely always dangerous. And you can see, even though it has widened up by now, it's still kind of a twisty section. But I think it's gonna change a little bit now, because we're now having some more straighter and not as twisty sections, so that's a whole nother danger. I mean, these twisty sections are difficult because you really need to pay attention that you don't miss any of the corner callouts, but these longer straightaway sections with going a lot faster also are very difficult, because if you miss some jump by just going a little bit the wrong direction, you can also easily lose the car, and going that fast, then that will definitely cause a lot of damage. So yeah, these next few sections are kind of a mix between going kind of fast and then interspersed with some more, well, sections where you need to be at least careful, like 4s and 5s, which aren't super tight, but with the speeds that you're going at here, yeah, and all these jumps and undulation changes is definitely quite difficult.
6 right to the crest, tightens, to 5 left short, into crest, and 6 left, long.
And you can see here, just once again, small little incident, because I missed my turning point, or was maybe just a little bit too fast, hit the snowbank, and this time luckily didn't flip and just lost a little bit of time. But we are doing kind of well, at least if we're looking at the sector times, and yeah, that once again was me staying on the gas a little bit too long and just understeering, not getting the car to where I actually wanted it to go. And once again, lucky that nothing major happened there.
40. 5 right to the crest, 40, 6 right, and left of the crest, and 3 left, opens.
And you can see still struggling quite a lot. So I'm not saying that I'm now an expert on snow or just Rally Scandia. I have gotten better, is what I would want to say. Over these 9 stages in this rally event, I definitely improved, and I also feel a lot more confident and comfortable on this, but still, this feels to me like I can do okay, but it's so easy to just make a mistake, like here once again, where just hitting the snowbank a little bit means that, well, you'll have some kind of an incident.
And slide right, tightens 5, and 6 left, 70. Crest to slide left, tightens 5, very long, into left of a crest, and slide right, slowing, 50, left of a bump, and 3 right, keep in, and slide right, half long, into crest, second 5 left, half long, tightens 1, opens, 40, 3 right, and 2 left of a crest, half long, 50, late, 5 right to the crest, 40, jump, 140, slowing, 3 right, unseen, to 4 left, opens.
Once again, the section here where you go quite fast for this kind of surface and really need to be careful to slow down enough for these a little bit tighter corners. And yeah, jumps like these so scary. You can see definitely struggling to get the car under control. And by the way, definitely let me know in the comments if you enjoy the series as it is right now, or if you maybe want to see anything changed in terms of what I show you and also how much commentary I do. I'm not quite sure if it's better to have some sections like I did here in this last stage where you actually get to just listen to the car and the co-driver and you can just enjoy that. If I should do that more, definitely let me know. I can just be quiet. Or if you want the commentary and want my thoughts on what was going on while I was driving. Yeah, and once again here, this was so close to a roll once again. But yeah, overall, doing kind of well here, and as I said before, I really enjoy this. I mean, this is just week 2 of the career. I haven't even checked how many weeks there are, but we are still like at least 1 or 2 weeks out from actually starting our series that we are working towards, which is the Junior WRC, which we have gotten the car, which you have seen in the last episode. That is all still to come, and we're just getting started on, well, our rally driver journey. So I spin here completely and then kind of mess up and drive on the snowbank here, which means I can't move anymore, so I have to reset the car, which only gives me a 5-second penalty, so that's kind of okay. But yeah, as I said before, still struggling. But yeah, overall, as I said before, I'm really enjoying the career mode. It's, I think, very well done with all that you can do in terms of driving and in which context that driving happens. Because I haven't shown you much of that, but before we started this week 2, I mean, we had choices. We also could have gotten personnel, also increased our team, and maybe get some engineers on the team, or train our chief engineer, or like what have you. You can do all kinds of different things. You always have the choice of what do you want to do. And well, then if you don't, by the way, another incident because I really missed the corner call here. But if you don't want to do any of your team building stuff, I would call it, then you still have the choice of which kind of series do you want to compete in. And that's not only which kind of rally you do, but it's always based on a championship. I mean, what we're driving right now is one rally event in a championship. And also which car you choose there, because most of those are multi-class. You can choose between a few different car classes. I decided to go for this one because I feel like it's like the slowest one and the easiest one for me, and especially since I saw I was gonna do this Rally Scandia, I was like, yeah, let's take it easy and take this slow car. And I mean, it was probably a good idea. I don't even know how I would have done here with a car that has a lot more power. But, well, we have now come to the end of the last stage. Did we manage to actually stay ahead and win this whole rally event? Because, as you can see, overall in this stage we were only P3. But that means that overall we still were a little bit faster than the second team. So we did catch up quite a bit. We were like 50 seconds behind the leader at one point, but we did come back and finished in P1 overall with a gap of only like 6.5 seconds or something. And that means we get 25 points in this championship. And that is also very helpful for our benefactor, because it's one of the goals that we at least can work towards to, well, improve standing with that benefactor, and that will then give us more bonuses down the line. But yeah, that was the whole Rally Scandia event with 9 stages. As I said, I tried to keep it as short as possible while still trying to show you as much as possible of what happened during this rally. And you can see the car is battered, and I really, well, it was a learning experience, and one that was quite painful for the car at least. But as I said before, really enjoyable. I'm really starting to dig my teeth into this series, because as I said, the way that it's structured really gives me motivation to just drive and improve at what's in front of me. And since I do have some choices coming up, there will also be some other cars that we'll be driving. And I think hopefully next week we will also for the first time be driving actually on gravel, which we haven't done yet in this career mode. So that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. But yeah, that's it for week 2 of the career here in EA WRC. And now all that's left for me is to ask you, what do you want to see? Do you want any changes in the format that I'm doing right now? I'm really open to your feedback and would like to know if there's anything that you would like to see changed in terms of how I structure the video, or of what I show you, or what I do commentary on. So yeah, definitely let me know. I would love to hear from you. If you made it this far and you enjoyed the video, also remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But other than that, I just want to thank you a lot for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I've been HD Racing, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.